Hello, welcome to today's video. I am going to be doing some work on buildings, painting buildings, which is something I don't tend to do, but I really want to include like more man-made elements into my paintings and like learn how to like really get that down, like find my own language for painting these things. And the reason I feel myself having a slight fixation on this is because for Christmas my boyfriend wanted me to paint his parents' house, which I thought, yeah, totally down to do that, that'll be fine. No, it was so difficult, and I really struggled, and sometimes I do feel quite limited to what I actually can draw and paint, and kind of like maybe I want to develop that. So yeah, I want to paint buildings pretty much. I'm going to work from photos, which is something I never really do. I kind of created a rule for myself like a couple of years ago that I never work from photos, but for this scenario I'm just gonna go through my camera roll, try and find photos of buildings, man-made structures, and try and understand what it is that I'm looking at, so I can actually translate that into paint, because I would really love to be able to include more man-made elements in my paintings, because I do find it really interesting. Like I've really become a lot more tuned into like telegraph poles and like the lines that come across and cut across the landscape, cut across the sky, and I find that really, like I just find it really satisfying. Like there's something that like sparks my brain, which I'm like, that's really cool, I like that. And I want to include more of those elements in my paintings, I think. But yeah, I think it would be quite nice if I could feel confident in painting houses. Maybe something that I did the other night, because this is where I started, did like, for instance, this little house, and I think it's about like learning what the shapes are and how to cut them down into just a few different colours, different tones, to like give enough of a hint that like, oh, this is a building, just so enough that your mind can recognise this thing, but you're not necessarily like painting every window, every brick, every shadow. It's just the kind of core elements. So I think this is the sort of where we will be going. But anyway, let's get on with something. I've been painting this for like 40 minutes, something like that. This, don't really care about, not loving. It was quite nice actually to work from a photo, because I just don't do that very often anymore, and definitely things to learn. I do like how I went about these houses. Like very subtle little colours, breaking it down, keeping it simple, and even in the hills, kind of just identifying that it is just about laying down the correct colour, and just a little brush stroke, a little dab, to create a hint of something. But yeah, cute little sketch. I do like these. It's actually like a different evening now. It's a couple of days later and I am still trying to work on this sort of painting houses, learning to draw houses, buildings, man-made things, and I have here my iPad and I have a big photo of a little village called Bigton in Shetland, and I think I'm just gonna like sketch out some of the kind of shapes that I have in the image. Let me just scoot this over. So I'm gonna just like, you know, try and identify major shapes and then maybe do a painting. The thing is, I don't really want to be working from photos, but I want to be able to like look at a building. I need a reference, pretty much. I need a reference to work from. So I think I will just do some sketches here. These sort of buildings, that in the background, and we shall go from there. So I've just realised I wasn't filming, but I've started doing like very sketchy little house drawings, and this is so much fun. Like, I feel like I've not used a sketchbook in this way kind of almost ever. But I think, yeah, I don't know, this feels like something I really want to keep on doing. Just like playing about with different elements and doing little studies, because it's not something like I ever do. I don't just do a study, I usually like, I don't know, make a whole painting. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And actually, like a few weeks ago, I was looking at illustrated kids books on Pinterest, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'd love to maybe try do some more illustrative sort of work. And I feel like doing these sort of exercises is probably like quite a good little exercise if I ever do want to move my work in that way. But yeah, I feel like these sort of little sketchy things feel more illustrative route. I mean, I've literally only done 2 of them, but I just found that really quite amusing to do. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing these things. I'm really enjoying doing these little illustrations. These are the ones I did last night, and then I've just been working on these. I haven't filmed them because I wanted to have something playing on YouTube in the background, and I can't do that when I'm filming on my phone. Oh, and I am obviously looking at references, which I don't usually do. Anyway, I just haven't filmed this, but really enjoying this. It's very fun. It does feel really like illustrative and playful and very light-hearted, but I kind of like that, because I feel like I go on like ebbs and flows with my practice about taking it like really seriously and feeling like it has all this depth to it, and then I go in another little wave where nothing's serious and it's just about playing. And I think, to be honest, I have the most fun and I'm most creative when I have more of the second mentality, where I just am very, very loose, and I don't really try to make anything with like too much intention, although like that is something that I also want to be able to somewhat overcome maybe this next year. Is I'm really bad at not being able to paint something under pressure, so I actually do want to be able to find like a balance between those two zones of like taking my art really seriously, and then the more playful side, I want to be able to like do something intentional but it also to be playful, which I think actually might just be the whole challenge of making art sometimes, because it's like doing something intentionally but unintentionally. how do you do that, but yeah. Oh, the light is flickering. Yeah, I really like doing these. I'm gonna call it quotes for right now. It's kind of getting late. I think this is quite cute actually. Kind of cute. Something happening. Really like this page. I'm well chuffed. Not really sure when to end this video either, because I'll maybe try and finish off this sketch and then that'll be it done. So I'm just gonna end the video here, but I thought I'd just do a little skim over all the little pieces that I've made over the last couple of days. So we started off, this was working from a photo really close to where I live, and yeah, it was just a nice warm up, and then I continued doing that as you saw earlier. I just love drawing. Especially when it comes down to like mark making like this, like taking a shape and just turning it into loose marks. I find that very pleasing. Then we moved on to this one. Absolutely adore that cloud. And then this is where we started to do some painting. I didn't let the pages dry before moving on, so they have ripped here, but it's nothing that I'm really concerned about because this is just a sketchbook. But yeah, I actually quite like this little house over here. Like it's quite subtle, just really just like 3 different shades together. And then we have this one, which I said earlier that I didn't really like this bit, but actually looking back I don't mind it. There's probably like a good bit of work to be done on the sign, but other than that I think it is actually a really nice little painting, and I really think I got those houses bang on. Like, yeah, really happy with those. And then you saw me do this sketch. Feels a little bit more like literal and less like, I don't know, painterly, but it's still, I don't know, it's kind of pleasing. Kind of felt like a style of painting that I used to do like years ago. But yeah, I tried to keep it simple with the colours that were going into this piece. We can ignore this page. Oh, this is my boyfriend's living room that I was sketching one day. Anyway, not the point. Okay, and then we moved on to doing these drawings, which again I think what I learned from this is like when it comes to painting or drawing houses or buildings, it is about keeping it simple. Like I like how this one turned out. You've got like the high contrast between like the roof the windows and then the walls. I don't know, I feel like you can just look at that and understand it's a building. So yeah, I feel like I'm learning things. We had a few scribbly little drawings going on. Yeah, and then we tried doing this house again, which I'm not sure how successful it was, but I find it interesting how I started to kind of go more scribbly towards the end, like my hand just wants to work loosely rather than like, I don't know. These ones, I love this little house, I think that's bloody adorable. I feel, and I like this one too, I feel like you can see I was getting tired and maybe starting to overthink things. Actually, that's probably only me who thinks that, but this page though, this was successful. I just think this is really cute. Like, this page makes me think that I could be an illustrator, and that's what I'll say. But yeah, again, it was just like trying to keep it simple, keep the colours within one sort of palette, or like complementary to each other. Yeah, I really like this. I do want to try and do more sort of buildings like this. And then this page, like, I think there's elements of it that I quite like, and I think generally like this house is pretty messy, and in this bit too, and this is a sad little tragic truck, but I think it was interesting because I wasn't intending to do this, but I painted this little house first and then I moved on to these ones, and then I started creating, I guess, like a composition out of the two of them, like merging the two photos together because they're all actually completely different locations, but I don't know, so I guess that's kind of interesting and has maybe like opened up a different way of working from photos for me, that feels a bit more like organic. Yeah, so we've ended on this page. I think this one is quite scruffy, but I think there's definitely some elements of this kind of form of painting that I'd quite like to keep doing. I like the looseness of like keeping the windows as like just blobs of paint and not making them like even defined squares as such. Like I much prefer that sort of effect. Yeah, and then I actually did I can't even remember doing this. Yeah, I did this one as well. Kind of started to overthink things here. Honestly, I swear everything to do with painting, sometimes it's just like keeping it simple and not allowing yourself to think and just feel your way through a painting. And then I actually moved on to doing this as well, so I didn't film any of these two, but I quite like how this one was going, and I started, getting a bit playful with the mark making here. But yeah, all in all, I think I've only spent I think 4 days working on these little things, and I think they're just really enjoyable, and I definitely want to try and do more of this more often, like, just allow myself to go on a little side tangent and explore and play about, and not feel, just allow myself to explore. I'll actually show you some of the paintings that I've been working on that have buildings in them. These are really tiny little things, and you will have seen them in my last video if you watched them. But this is, I don't know, I think this is like what I'm going for, but right now like all the houses I include are very simple, which is kind of how I want to paint, but at the same time it'd be good to be able to kind of include some more kind of complex shapes. Yeah, honestly just like expand my mind a little bit more. But yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed doing these things, and yeah, I think I'm just going to try and keep on playing about, doing little exercises like this more often. And yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here, but thank you for watching, and Happy New Year.